we're gonna make the movement top down movement. Okay, I'm gonna leave all of this sprite in the description, you can go check that out. Okay, so I'm gonna drag the first one into the scene view. Okay, as you can see. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna create the movement first. So we're gonna rename this to something like player. So we're gonna rename this to player, sorry, player. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a player script. Okay, go to assets, right click, create c script, name that script to player. I already have created. Okay, so select the player, I'm gonna drag the player script to add component section of player. Okay, player game object, and double click that to open up in Visual Studio. Okay, double click that to open up in Visual Studio. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over to update function. Okay, we're gonna go over to update function, because update function, as you know, it's called every single frame. We're gonna go over to that and we're gonna check, we're gonna use this function. Okay, input dot get axis. Okay, get axis, we're gonna deal with the horizontal, basically x1 x direction. Okay, we're gonna deal with the x1 first. I'm gonna select the move tool, we're gonna deal with the x1 first. So we're gonna go over to, one second, input dot get axis. Okay, we're gonna pass horizontal, so we're gonna deal with the first horizontal one, then we're gonna deal with that later on the vertical one. So input dot get axis horizontal, basically what this function do, it will check. Okay, it will check on your keyboard if you press a key. Okay, if you press a key, so input dot get axis horizontal will be -1. Okay, if you press d key, so input dot get axis horizontal over here will be +1. Okay, if you press nothing, okay, if you press nothing, so there is an input dot get axis horizontal will be 0. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put it a container or in a float variable. Okay, we're gonna put this into a float variable, and we're gonna go over to top of the class. Okay, and we're gonna make it public. Okay, float, and you can call something like movement, horizontal movement or something like that. I'm going to call it movement underscore x. Okay, because this is horizontal, so that's why. And whatever the we let's suppose we press a key, so this will be -1. If we press d key, it will be +1. But if we press nothing, so this input dot get axis horizontal will be 0. So we're gonna put this into this variable. Okay, float variable, because this is will be in decimal places, so that's why. So we're gonna put it this movement. Okay, movement, sorry, movement underscore x. Okay, equal to this. So we're gonna put equal to this. Okay, so the movement underscore x will be -1, 1 or 0, depending upon what we pressing. So this over here, if we press a key, so this will be -1. Okay, input dot get axis horizontal will be -1. So we are directly setting it equal to this. Okay, we are putting this into this container, basically float variable. So movement underscore x will be -1 if we press a key. Okay, let's suppose if we press d key, so this will be input dot get axis horizontal will be +1. So the movement underscore x will be 1. Okay, +1. If we press nothing, this will be 0. So the movement underscore x will be 0, because we directly setting it. Okay, movement underscore equal to input dot get axis horizontal. Okay, control s on your keyboard to save this and head again to Unity. Okay, we will able to see movement underscore x by default it will be 0, because we haven't assigned it something like that. We just only assign it in update function when we pressing something like a or d key. So by default it will be 0, movement underscore will be 0, because we haven't selected any default value. Okay, that's why. So it will be 0. Now if we hit play, when we hit play and if we press a or d key, the movement underscore x will be changed depending upon what we pressing on keyboard. Okay, if I hit play, okay, if I hit play, and this movement underscore x will be depending upon what you pressing on your keyboard. Let's suppose if you press a key on your keyboard, this will be -1. Okay, let's suppose I press a key, as you can see it's becomes -1. But when I press d key, as you can see this became +1, and I'm just holding down the d key. Okay, now if I press nothing, anything like that, so the movement underscore over here, as you can see, it's become 0. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna also deal with the vertical one. Okay, the y one. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add the changes in the current position of the player. Okay, before that we're gonna also deal with this input. Okay, input dot get axis. Okay, get axis, we're gonna pass the vertical. Basically we're gonna deal with the vertical one now. And this over here, if you this function over here, it will check on your keyboard. Okay, if you press W key, so this will be +1, but if you press S key, so this will be -1. Okay, if you press nothing, then input dot get axis vertical will be 0. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put it into a variable, whatever the result is. So we're gonna make another variable, we're gonna make it public to see in inspector. Sorry, I misspelled there. Public float, and we're gonna call it something like movement. Okay, movement underscore y. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna put the result into this variable. We're gonna put this container. We have created this full float variable over here, as you can see, and we name it movement underscore y. So this work like as a container. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna set, okay, we're gonna set movement and movement underscore y equal to this. Basically now this will be +1 or -1, depending upon what you pressing on your keyboard, the vertical one, the y axis, as you can see. So that's why we call it movement underscore y. So let's suppose if you press on your keyboard W key, so this input dot get axis vertical will be 1. So the movement underscore y over here will be 1, because we directly setting it. And if we press S key, so input dot get axis vertical will be -1, so the movement underscore y will be -1. But if we press nothing like that, so this will be input dot get axis vertical will be 0, so the movement underscore over here will be 0, as you can see, because we directly setting it. Okay, so control S on your keyboard to save this. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add the changes into our current position. Okay, basically we have to do this transform dot position. Basically transform dot position over here means current position of the game object, okay, of the player. And we're gonna add plus equal new vector 3. And as you know, vector 3 has three component, three axis, x axis, y axis, and the z axis. Okay, okay, so what we're gonna do, as you can see, transform dot position plus equal transform dot position over here means the current position of the player, and we are adding plus equal new vector 3. As you know, vector 3 has x axis and the y axis and the z axis. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna move depending upon what we pressing in the x axis as well as in the y axis. So we're gonna replace this x with our change. Okay, movement underscore x. So let's suppose if we press D key on your keyboard, so the movement underscore x will be 1, because this input dot get axis horizontal will be 1 if we press D key. Okay, so 1, so the movement underscore over here will be 1. So transform dot position e plus equal new vector 3, and as you know, vector 3 has three components, x axis, y axis, and the z axis. So let's suppose if we press D key, so this will be 1. So as you can see, we are adding to our current position in the x axis by 1, as you can see, because movement underscore x will be 1. Let's suppose if we press S key, A key, so this over here will be -1, so movement underscore x will be -1. So a transform dot position plus equal, so this becomes -1, so it will go to the left direction. As you can see, this will be -1, and we're gonna replace the y to our change in the y axis, depending upon what we pressing. Something like if we press W key, so this over here input dot get axis vertical will be 1, so the movement underscore y over here will be 1. So we're gonna replace this y axis to our movement. Okay, movement underscore y. Okay, movement underscore y, and then we're gonna leave the z axis. Okay, we're not gonna move anything like in the z axis, so we're gonna say transform. Okay, transform dot position dot z, or you can put it 0. Transform dot position dot z basically means the current position of the player in the z axis. Okay, but we're gonna put it 0f, we're not gonna move in the z axis. Okay, so this and we also need to multiply with time dot delta time. Okay, you have to multiply this time, okay, to make frame rate independence, time dot delta time, as well as multiply the movement underscore y with time dot delta time. Okay, time dot delta time, and we also need to multiply that and control s on your keyboard to save this. So what we doing, let's suppose if we press a D key on keyboard, so this movement underscore x will be -1, because this over here if we press a key, so this will be -1, and movement underscore x will be -1, because we directly setting. So transform dot position over here means current position plus equal we are adding, so this became -1. If we press the a key, so this becomes -1, so it will go to the left side. Okay, left side, as you know, so it will be -1. Okay, so that is this logic in behind of it. Okay, so control s on your keyboard to save this and head again to Unity. Okay, we will able to see whenever we press a key, the movement x will be -1, so it will go to the left direction, because we are adding some unit to our current position. Transform dot position means over there current position in the player, current position of the player. Okay, and we are adding changes in the x-axis and the y-axis, or depending upon what we pressing on the keyboard. Okay, control s on your keyboard to save this and head again to Unity. And if we hit play, okay, if we hit play, we will able to see that our player will move depending upon what we pressing. Okay, if I press a D key, as you can see, movement underscore 1 y will be 1, because we pressing the W key. Okay, sorry, W key. And if we press the S key, so this movement underscore y will be -1, and we are adding the changes in the current position. As you've seen, transform dot position plus equal, as you can see, we added the y axis. As you can see, we replace our y axis to change this movement underscore y. Okay, and this will be check on your keyboard what you pressing. If you press the W key, so this will be 1, so the movement underscore y will be 1, so it will go to in the top. Okay, because the y axis becomes positive. Okay, positive 1, so that's why it will go to top. But if we press S key, S key, if we press S key, so this will be -1, so the movement underscore y will be -1. So this over here we movement underscore y will be -1, so it will go to down, because the float will be negative. As you can see, -1, which is negative, so it will go to down. Okay, but if I press a or D key, as you can see, this movement underscore y will be 1 or +1, as you can see. I hope you get the idea. So what we're gonna do, as you can see, this is pretty slow, so we're gonna make a float parameter. Okay, that we're gonna call it something like speed, and we're gonna multiply that multiply this with our this movement x. Okay, so we're gonna go over to top. Okay, and we're gonna declare, and we're gonna make it public to adjust in the inspector, and that type will be float, and we're gonna call it something like speed, player speed, or move speed. So let's call it something like move and move speed. Okay, by default you can set it to anything, like I'm going to set it to 2 unit, and we're gonna multiply this. Okay, we're gonna multiply this move speed. Okay, move speed, as you can see. So we are multiplying the whole in the x-axis as well, in the y-axis as well, because we multiplied outside of the brackets. It's basically means we multiplying both of these axes with our move speed, which is 2 unit by default, but you can adjust in the inspector, so that's why we made it public. Okay, you can adjust in the inspector. So let's suppose if we press a D key, so this will be +1, so the movement underscore y x will be +1, so it will go to right. Okay, +1 into, as you can see, we have also have multiplied with move speed. As you can see, by default we set move speed to 2, so 2 into 1 will be +2. Okay, +1 into 2 will be +2, so it will go to right. But if we press a key, okay, this will be -1, so the movement underscore x will be -1, so this over here will be -1, so -1 into, as you can see, move speed. Okay, move speed 2, so 2 into -1, which becomes -2 in this, so it will go -2 unit in the left direction. Okay, as you can see. So control s on your keyboard to save this and head into Unity. You will able to see that the speed parameter will appear over here, and we can adjust the speed as much we want. okay, you can adjust the speed over here. So that's why reason to make it public. You don't need to make this movement underscore x movement underscore y to public. It should be private. Okay, you don't need to make this. For explanation, I'm making it public. Okay, so now if I hit play, as you can see move speed, but you can adjust adjust as much as you want. Okay, but I'm gonna leave it as it too. So if I move, okay, as you can see, but if I increase the move speed something like 10, as you can see we can move pretty fast, as you can see. Okay, I hope you get the basic idea of top down moving the game object around the environment. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, then like this and share it with your friends, and if you are new to my channel, then consider to subscribe for upcoming tutorials. Okay, and if you want to support me, you can support me on patreon.com. And lastly, thanks for watching this video. Okay.